Hello, Christina. It's so lovely to have you here and to be chatting with you. I'm really excited to be diving into all things Akashic Records and just curious to see how else this conversation wants to unfold. But of course, before we dig any deeper into that, I would love for you to just kind of briefly tell us where you're from, where you're located, what even essentially got you into the Akashic Records.
All right, so my name is Christina Cross, and I'm here in Orland Park, Illinois, which is a southwest suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
Uh, I work with the Akashic Records. That is my full-time work. I am a practitioner. I do offer readings, and I also teach people how to access the Akashic Records. I've been working with the Akashic Records since February of '98. And I'll tell you, when I took my beginning class, the first time I opened my own records, I had an experience of my own magnificence. And the records expanded that vision for me. And they gave me a vision. If everyone in this world truly, truly, truly knew their magnificence, owned their magnificence, claimed their magnificence, shared their magnificence, the record showed me such an amazing world. They did. They showed me everybody stepping up onto their individual pedestals of magnificence, really honoring their uniqueness, standing tall in who they really are. And from that place, when I'm standing strong on my pedestal of magnificence, I'm not threatened by your magnificence. I'm not jealous of your magnificence.
Mm.
When I'm standing strong, centered in my magnificence from that place, it is my privilege and pleasure to support, assist, motivate you to step up onto yours. And that's what the record showed me in my beginning class. We will achieve peace on this planet when everybody is standing strong on their own unique pedestals of magnificence, all of us standing shoulder to shoulder to shoulder, no one above and no one below. When I saw that vision in my beginning class, I will tell you that motivated me to get out there and share the Akashic Records with anybody and everybody that is interested. So this has been my full-time work. And I'll tell you, this is a spiritual tool for myself. 26 years later, I am still in absolute and utter awe of the spiritual tool. The Akashic Records, they never cease to amaze me. And the Akashic Records, for those that don't know, they're a vibrational body of records where the journey of our soul is stored. The way I access the Akashic Records is through the pathway prayer process, which was brought forth by Linda Howe. And I actually took my beginning class from Linda Howe in February of '98. And in 1999, I started assisting Linda Howe in Akashic Records classes. I became the assistant director of her School of Akashic Studies up through 2007. I received teacher certification in 2003. I was the first person certified to be an Akashic Records teacher by Linda. And really 2007, my mother got sick. I needed to take a leave of absence to help my mother transition. And after that, it really became clear to me that it was time for me to focus on my own practice of giving readings and teaching. So kind of been on my own since then.
Wow, what a journey. I'm so curious. Like, okay, so take me back February 1998. Where were you? What was it about seeing that class coming up, wherever you saw that class, and was like, I'm gonna sign up for that.
So what happened? I was nannying at the time. And I loved my job, best job in the whole wide world. I was nannying, and so it was my 22nd birthday, and my boss, she called it my magical mystery tour birthday. She got me all these Beatles CDs, and she got me a reading with this big wig reader. I was so excited, right? I had always been interested in, psychic phenomena and all this spiritual stuff, but I'd never really studied any of it. Well, she gave me this reading, and I was so excited. Although I loved my job as a nanny, I knew that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing for, my career. And so I went into this reading, and I'm walking down this hallway and it's lined with all these black and white photos of all these politicians and movie stars. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if they endorse and support her, I can certainly trust her, right? Well, I go in and I sit down ready for this reading. And she tells me I'm going to lose my home, my relationship, and my job all in the next couple of years. And there's nothing I can do about it. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Well, I walked out onto Michigan Avenue, and this was a very well-known reader, right? I walked out onto Michigan Avenue, and everything in me just knew this woman was wrong. At
Oh,
that time, I was dating a man. We had just moved into our first apartment in a building that his uncle owned, right? So we were going to live there as long as we wanted to, right? This is the man I started dating when I was 17. I'm still with this man today at 54 years old, you know? Right? So she was wrong on that count. And as far as losing my job, the family that I was nannying for, if they had their way, even though the boys are now 20 or 35 or 34 years old, even though the boys are 34, if they had their way, I would still be nannying for that family. So she was wrong on all counts, but what that reading did was it launched me on a quest. It really
mm.
did. Well, I went back to work the next day and my boss said, so Chrissy, how was the reading? And I said, well, I don't know. Are you planning on firing me anytime soon? Well, the next day she comes to me and she says, Chrissy, I feel so bad about the reading you got. You know, here, she slips me a phone number and she says, I want you to call this woman. I'm like, no,
No more people, please.
T. Well, I've already paid for it. If you don't go, you're flushing down the toilet. Reluctantly, this woman made an appointment. And she was doing tarot card readings. I sit down for this reading. She starts tossing these cards. And the first thing she said is, oh, you would be really good at this. She goes on to give me a reading that just blew my socks off. She got a sense at that time I was doing children's drumming circles and teaching little meditation practices.
Wow.
Like this. She went on to give me this reading that blew my socks off. And it was great. And that launched me even deeper onto my quest. I started reading anything and everything I possibly could get my hands on. You know, about spirituality, some things rang true, some things did not. Well, it was about, I guess it was about 2, 3 years later when I started getting phone calls on the weekend and, Chrissy, Houston's not listening, would you please talk to him? And, I'd come back to work on Monday and the kids would complain to me about, whatever, something dad did, or I got it with the heaviest of hearts that I had to stop away, that I was no longer providing a service to this family, And, I loved my job. I had been with these twin boys since they were 3 months old. At this time, they were 11. The thoughts of stepping away was breaking my heart. But, when you get it, you can't pretend you don't got it, right?
Mm.
So I stepped away. I ended up on my knees, not having any idea what I wanted to do, what I was supposed to be doing. And, I was on my knees and my prayer was, dear God, use me to do your work. 3 days later, I received an invitation in the mail from this woman who had done that tarot card reading a few years back. And she was now teaching access to the Akashic Records. So that tarot card reader was Linda Howe. And, everything in me just drew me to the class. It was like a magnetic pull. At that time, I couldn't talk about auras and chakras. And, I was so afraid that I was just going to be so lost in this class, but yet I knew I had to go. And,
Mm.
getting in my comfort zone, answering the calling to read the Akashic Records, that was the best gift I ever gave myself.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's what a journey. And if you don't mind, just kind of briefly, just for the people who aren't fully aware of who
Yes.
Linda Howe is, because I learned about Linda Howe through another Akashic record reader, and I just started to begin to grasp, like when I was in the beginning of my spiritual awakening as well, back in 2019, of like, oh, this woman is, from my understanding, like really put the Akashic records like on the map. So can you just kind of like dig into that just a teeny bit, so just so people have an understanding of like how big of a deal it was that this was your mentor?
Well, Linda Howe, I consider her the guru of the Akashic Records. I mean,
Mhm.
really, she created the pathway prayer process. And, it's interesting because Linda originally learned to access the Akashic Records through Mary Parker and the sacred prayer process. And that was actually what I originally learned. And, it was interesting because Linda kept getting her own prayer. She kept getting her own prayer. And so it was interesting when Linda called me one day and said, here, Chris, do me a favor, try this prayer. Let me know what you think. Does it work? And, it was interesting because there really was a difference. For me, there was a significant difference accessing the Akashic Records using the pathway prayer process versus using the sacred prayer method. Do you know? And so for me, I was like, yeah, this certainly works. And so Linda Howe, she is the originator of the pathway prayer process, and she has created an incredible curriculum. The pathway prayer process curriculum is just amazing. She's got many books. She has videos. akashicstudies.com is her website. She's the only person that is able to certify teachers of the pathway prayer process. She does do all sorts of certification courses. She's just absolutely amazing. I feel like, I have so much gratitude for her having the courage, the strength, the ability to really forge this path that so many people have followed. It's amazing. I have eternal gratitude for Linda Howe,
Oh.
the care process curriculum. I know how much it's influenced me and just enhanced the quality and conditions of me in my own life. And it's fascinating. I just led a healing practitioner series, and it's fascinating because this was probably maybe my 30th time participating in this class.
Wow.
I co-taught this with Linda back in the day, and fascinating because there's always room to go deeper. There's always for more light. It's fascinating how repeating this work over and over and over just has taken me deeper into really, really knowing who it is that I really am, and really what this life is all about for me. It's amazing. The records are such an amazing tool. They have so helped me to really look for the light, find the light in any given situation. For myself, easy to focus on some of my traumas and my tragedies and, some things that have allowed me to anchor into victim role consciousness.
Yeah.
But what the records have taught me is that ordinary human challenges, they are the pathway to higher consciousness. And we can't jump over them, we can't shimmy under, we can't go around. We just have to plow through them.
Yep.
But what I've learned through my work in the records, everything at all times is truly in divine alignment. Even I personally am not recognizing it, and I love that when I can open my own records, elevate in consciousness, look at a particular situation, and I can actually find the light. I can find the goodness. I can find the soul growth opportunity or the consciousness development opportunity in that. And that's what the records are brilliant. They're brilliant for helping one shift their perspective. And isn't that what a miracle is? A shift
Yes.
perception, a shift in our perspective.
Yes. Yes. Oh, wow.
To help us do that.
I love that. And I love like, you can really feel the transformation that this work has cultivated within you just in the way how you speak about it. So, okay, so take us now to 2007. You're feeling called to step out on your own, to really anchor into this work in your own way. What was that journey like that brought you even here today to working with Maha Rose?
Honestly, it was a path of grace,
Mm.
honestly, ease. And it was pretty effortless.
Wow.
So it's interesting because I've never paid for advertising, and I do have a website, and but I've never paid for advertising. I've never, early in my practice, I did do a bunch of mind body spirit expos, is
Mm-hmm.
just get more experience and really expose myself. And it got to the point where I would go to these mind body spirit expos and all the other readers would come to me for readings. That's when I figured, all right, no, wait a minute, maybe, I'm kind of done with this circuit. But yeah, I've been, I go where I'm invited. I have just been so blessed to receive amazing invitation. I've worked up and down the Eastern Seaboard, serving a lot of the spiritualist churches. Um, different metaphysical centers. I've been blessed to work in Mexico, not only at El Triangulo, but I have, some other students that have hosted me in Mexico. And it's just, I just love the opportunities. It's so amazing. And as far as my clients, it's fascinating. I just spoke to somebody the other day that I did a reading for 20 years ago. You
Wow.
know, it's amazing to me that I'm like still on someone's radar, But it's funny when I teach people how to access the Akashic records, because my philosophy is, why would there be a body of energy and information that pertains to me and my soul and I not have direct access to it, right? So for myself, I believe anyone and everyone can access the Akashic records. You don't need special gifts or abilities. I feel like you really just need the intention,
Mm.
right? And really the discipline to do so. But it's interesting because for myself, when I first started working with the records, I just lost my train of thought. I forgot. I don't know where I was going with that.
You were just talking about how easeful, effortless it was.
So it's so funny because, I've been doing this work for 26 years. Doing readings and teaching is my full-time work. Do you know? I am a nervous wreck before every reading that I do.
Oh, really?
Butterflies, I get so nervous. I think, what if nothing comes through? What if I do?
Mm.
What if I give bad advice or guidance? And, I actually worked in the records on this, going back probably 10, 12 years. I'm like, at this point, shouldn't I have a little bit more confidence in myself and this process? And you know what the record said? They said,
Mm.
sweetheart, it's all right. A little bit of fear keeps you humble to this. And the more I really, really thought about that, it really was true. There were a couple of times I went into readings, thinking, oh, I know this person. This is going to be a piece of cake. Those were actually some of the worst readings that I've done. So for myself, when I teach people how to work with the records, and there's some people that really have the calling to offer their services as a practitioner to others, but they're waiting until they overcome the fear. And you know what I say? Don't honor the fear, embrace the fear. Do you know? I just
Mm.
tell fear, all right, you know what? For now, just for the next couple of hours, you need to get out of my way so I can do my work. You can come right back once I close the records.
I love that. I love that so much. That fear keeps you a little bit humble to the work. 'Cause I mean, I haven't been in the work as long as you have, but to hear you share that, you still get a little nervous, you still get a little bit scared. It kind of feels like, ugh, okay, like this is just normal. And how can we just allow ourselves to ease more into this experience? I love the shift of perspective of like, this is just keeping me humble to the work. This is just keeping me humble to being open and to being able to be that channel and to be able to really effectively share what is coming through without well, what are they going to think about that? Or can I really say that? Like it's just like, nope, I'm going to move this through, let this come through me. So I think that's really beautiful. And I think that there's so much power and medicine and wisdom in that because I feel like that too sometimes. If I'm going into a client session or if I do monthly channelings for my email list, my newsletter. And even then and there's no one here. Like I'm doing this with myself and I still go into that like, oh my God, like I don't know, like what if nothing like what exactly what you said. What if nothing comes through? There's always that what if nothing comes through?
And for myself, what I've learned is to be very clear on my intentions. Why
Mm.
in the world am I doing this? Why am I every single day I am pushing myself out of my comfort zone to do this? And for myself, I simply remind myself before each and every reading, before I hop on Zoom and connect with a client, before each and every reading, I remind myself of what my intentions are by saying my own personal prayer. And that's a Holy Spirit of God. Please help me to minister to so and so through your words, your thoughts, your deeds, and your love. May we remind so and so of their magnificence. May they awaken to this memory and live their life accordingly. That is my own personal prayer that I say anytime I'm getting ready to connect. And I'll tell you, just reminding myself of my mission, I can feel the cells of my body start to align. They're like, all right, we're getting ready to launch into that high vibrational energy.
Yes.
You know?
I love that so much. What a beautiful reminder. What a beautiful reminder. Because I feel like there's this, and maybe me speaking for myself, there's this like when am I not, like I said, when am I not going to have the fear? When am I not going to have the doubt? There's like this waiting period of like, when am I not going to have to experience this? And so I love that prayer of just reminding yourself every day, like, why am I doing this? And I think there's something really beautiful about putting language to that because we live these fast-paced lives and we get up and we go and we do this and we do that and sometimes we don't create that space for that just that simple moment of reflection. It probably took you 10 seconds to say that prayer, just that little moment of like, let me recalibrate and really be as present as I can for this moment and for this experience. I think that is, like you said, that is so magical and so, so miraculous. Just that moment right there, just to remind ourselves. Oh, I love that. I love that so much. I'm intrigued about working with the Akashic Records more within my own practice. I remember I did it one time just to kind of like, just on my own. I think I maybe even found a copy of Linda's prayer somewhere, or maybe I did my own prayer. I'm not sure. Just to kind of be like, what's all this Akashic Records that I keep hearing about? So talk to me a little bit about your training. So if I were to go to your training, I know you have one coming up at Maha Rose in March. What would we experience within that training?
So in the beginning class, you learn how to access the Akashic records for yourself. I also have you partner up and do practice readings with other students in the class.
Okay.
Do you know at the end of the beginning class, you really come away with the tools and with the experience that really do prepare you to use the pathway prayer process to access the Akashic records, to use the tool in whatever it's so accessing the records. It's about opening the records and just getting all of this information. And it's really not. The Akashic records, they are such an amazing tool of creativity. Opening the records and working on a creative project, fabulous thing to do. Opening the records and, dancing, playing some music, fabulous thing to do. There's practitioners that open the records. They combine the records with other spiritual tools, right? There's some practitioners that will open someone's records and then they'll give some Reiki or open some records, do a little like cranial sacral, something like this. What I love about the Akashic records is not everybody has the desire or interest in using this tool just to give, straight readings, but for me, anytime I open the records, there's just an amplification of energy. It's like there's an amplification of whatever I'm focusing on. So combining the records with different types of spiritual tools is an amazing thing to do. That's what I love. There are students that I have taught that have come up with ways to use the Akashic records that would never in a million years occur to me.
Wow.
But that's what I love about this tool. You take this tool and incorporate it into your own uniqueness, stir in your own unique gifts, talents, abilities, your passions, right? And see what it is that you can create. So giving just an Akashic record reading, fabulous thing to do. Very, very elevating, very, very dignifying working in the records. The records, again, are really, really wonderful for people that feel like, that maybe there's something maybe holding them back in their life. Maybe there's a particular experience or, something that they just really don't understand, something that's caused them to anchor into some issues or whatever, lower vibrational thoughts or emotions pertaining to themselves. The records are just so amazing. I say elevating us out of the muck, elevating us out of the lower vibrations. When we access the Akashic records, and that's part of the beginning class, is receiving an energetic attunement. When we're working in the Akashic records, the energy of the Akasha, it floods in through the crown, all the way down to the tips of the toes where it bounces up, and then it streams out through your opened heart center. If you're working in your own records, it comes in through the crown, right down to the toes, filling the body up, streams out through the open heart center where that energy now presses into the outer edge of your energy field. So by the time you close your Akashic records, you're now cocooned in this high vibrational energy, and you absorb that energy over the course of the next couple of hours, the next couple of days. And this high vibrational energy, it really does, it motivates one to think the thoughts, to feel the emotions, to take the actions that are truly in alignment with their soul at this particular time in their, human experience. So In the beginning class, you learn how to access the records for yourself. You learn how to access the records for others. You really just spend some time getting acclimated with this high vibrational energy.
Oh, oh, that sounds so juicy. So for the more advanced
Mhm.
Akashic record readers, what
Yeah.
does that entail?
Right. So I do ongoing classes, all the time. Part of what I offer, I do offer free mentoring sessions,
Okay.
monthly mentoring sessions. I do have somebody, Bonnie Fedge, assisting me that hosts monthly practice sessions, and all of this is on Zoom to give people an opportunity to stay connected. It kills me when somebody takes the beginning class and then they go away because they don't have anybody to practice on, or maybe they don't have the financial wherewithal to do deeper trainings
Yeah.
or invest in further education. So that's one of the reasons for myself why I offer free monthly mentoring sessions, which really turn into free classes. We do open records meditations, they're so much fun, and the practice sessions. But I will be doing an advanced class. So right now I do 4 different levels of advanced work. uh,
Wow.
we're going to be doing at Maha Rose in Mexico. We're going to be doing the Soul Aware Practitioner series, which I'm really, really excited about. This is for people that really, really are interested, not just having this idea, theory, or concept, but really want to take some time to really make a deeper, a richer connection with their soul, really move into greater alignment with their soul, and really find out what is it their soul's really here for?
Yes.
What is it their soul really wants to contribute to this lifetime? Do you know? So really excited. And you know, in Mazunte, where El Triangulo is, Maha Rose South, oh, the energy there
Mm.
is so absolutely amazing. It's
Mm.
absolutely amazing. So I am so excited. We'll be offering a beginning class retreat and then also an advanced retreat in the first couple of weeks in March. So
I
anyone
love that.
who are interested, come on.
Yes. We'll be sure to put that into the description for this episode too. So I'm curious, like, is it a prerequisite to go to the beginner class first? Or can you, I guess if you're a beginner, or maybe you've been just kind of practicing on your own, maybe haven't had any formal education, can you still go into the advanced class? I guess like the question is like, what's the determining factor of like, no, you absolutely.
For my advanced classes, anyone's welcome, long as they're already working with the pathway prayer process.
Okay.
It really, really disturbs me when somebody comes to an advanced class and they're really not as familiar or as practiced with the records as they should. That can actually bog the energy down. That can actually, distract the entire group. It can prevent the whole group from going deeper into the records. So, I used to say that, people must take the prerequisite is the beginning class, accessing the Akashic Records beginning class by myself or any other certified teacher. Because of the way things have advanced, and there's so many people that are learning to access the records through Linda Howe's books. At this time, I do allow people to take advanced classes, but I really, really want to make sure that it's people that are familiar, actively working with the pathway prayer process, because it is not a beginning class, and it really bothers me when we have to waste class time reviewing information that we cover in a beginning class.
Mm,
So,
mm.
prerequisite, but I prefer it.
Right, right. Highly, highly recommended. Wow. I mean, this has been, whew, you've dropped so much knowledge, wisdom, insight, perspective. I mean, incredible. Thank you so much. Is there anything else on your heart that you'd like to express or share when it comes to the records? If there's anyone who's curious or anyone who, I guess maybe a little bit on the fence or even maybe a little skeptical. I know no one here, but just in case.
My philosophy is reading the Akashic Records. I really feel like it's a calling. I
Mm,
feel like people are either called to do this or they're not. And if you're somebody that just feels, like an energetic pull, you know, chances are on a soul level, you've already accessed the Akashic Records.
mm.
Do you know? Some people consciously and deliberately in this lifetime, there are a million different ways to access the Akashic Records, right? Pathway prayer process is just one of many, many methods, right?
Oh,
But for those people who really do have a calling to work with this high vibrational energy of the Akashic Records, I would really encourage you to trust your calling.
mm.
Trust your calling, you know
Go ahead. I see something's on your heart.
It's just the Akashic Records, they just, for me personally, they have just so helped me, even
Mm.
with my, human insecurities and my fears and my self judgments. And, the Akashic Records, they have just really, really taught me how to cultivate an environment of unconditional love and compassion here in my personal world. So I really, really can experience it more so in the world at large. So many people want peace. We want peace in the world. We want peace on this planet. You know what I've learned? It's impossible to create that unless we have a foundation to build it on, right? So
Yep.
until I actually have peace here, a foundation of peace in my personal world, it's impossible for me to create it and sustain it out there. The
Yes.
Akashic Records are a tool that have been made available to humanity to assist us in our quest to lead the earth out of darkness and into light.
Mm.
The truth of the matter is, just because of my sheer presence on the planet, right? Just like wherever I go, I leave
Mm.
dead skin cells behind, right? Wherever I go, I leave traces of my energy behind.
Ooh.
And what I feel is present in my energy field, right? What I think and what I feel is present in my energy field. If that's present in my energy field, that's the contribution I'm making to the world at large. So if I'm allowing myself to belittle myself and judge myself and reject myself, and right, and I'm thinking these lower vibrational thoughts and feeling that upset in my emotional body, those lower vibrations are present in my energy field. This
Mm.
is the contribution that I'm making to the world. And the records have been made available to us because it is time for all of us to truly become more conscious about what it is we are contributing to the world
Mm.
just by our sheer presence. So
Woo.
the record helped me to create that unconditional love and compassion here so I can experience peace, because by gosh, I will see it in the world at large. I'm not going to give up. I will keep coming back lifetime after lifetime after lifetime.
Yes. Amen. Wow. Woo. Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. That right there was a prayer.
Well, thank you
Thank
so
you so much for that. This has been incredible, Christina.
I
Thank
really
you.
appreciated the opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Gosh, yes. And we'll be sure to link all your information and your retreat into the description so people can connect with you and book sessions with you. I mean, whoo, what an energy. Thank you for sharing this with us.
Is that I know what the Akashic records have done for me in my life. And
Mm.
it just, if people can get a sense of the passion I have for the records, it is
Mm.
because they have truly transformed my relationship, not only with myself, but with life. So, you know what? This is the most amazing thing ever in the whole wide world. It just is for me. It just
Mic drop. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for this. Oh my God, this is an incredible episode. Thank you. And you did fantastic. So you should be really proud of yourself.
thank you so much. Okay, I can let that fear back in. Well, appreciate the opportunity. And I just appreciate all the opportunities Maha Rose has given me over the years. To be trusted with one's clients and students.
Hmm.
My opinion, there's no bigger privilege than that. So
Yeah.
I love
Yes. Oh, thank you so much.